welcome to my channel where learning art is fun. I'm Sarah and in today's video we're going to be colouring in the little duckling sketch that I made on Tuesday's video, and I've decided to do it in watercolour paints. So if you're ready, let's go!
So here's a sneaky peek at how he turned out, and if you'd like to see the video where I do the outline sketch for this duckling, I'll put a link in the card above. I'll also put in the description box details of the materials I used to paint him in. So I'm going to be using the wet and dry method for this painting, and that basically means that I'm using a wet paintbrush and dry paper, and I really like this technique for when you're doing really detailed areas because it gives you a bit more control over where your paint and your water are going. So I like to start off with the eye, and that's personal preference, you haven't got to do the same, but straight away it kind of gives this duckling a little bit of character and personality. So I started off by just doing a layer of sort of blue-grey paint onto the whole of the eye area. I then dropped in a tiny dot of black for the pupil, and because the paint was still slightly wet, it bled out, and that gave a really nice realistic effect to the pupil. So then I went on to the beak, and the good thing about watercolour is that you can work in layers, but you do need to start off with the lightest layer first and gradually build up. And something else to bear in mind with watercolour is that it can dry lighter than when it's wet, so you might need to put a few more layers on once it's dry to get the colour that you want at the end. So then it was time to move on to the main body of the duckling, and I started off with a slightly thicker paintbrush this time, just going in with a mid-tone brown on those darkest areas, and I was just really mapping out the areas to show where the direction of the feathers were growing in before letting that dry and moving on to a finer paintbrush to add in a slightly darker layer and a few more details. So I did use a reference picture to help me map out these different shaded areas, and I don't copy it exactly because that would take far too long and it would stop me enjoying doing the painting. So I just use it to kind of map out those different shaded areas, to look at the different length of feathers to make sure it's realistic, to look at the direction of the feathers again to make sure it looks realistic, and use it as a guide really. You haven't got to have exactly the same feathers in exactly the same place for it to look realistic. So whilst I'm waiting for those brown areas to dry fully, I'm then going in to do the yellow feathers. And I did notice from a reference picture that the yellow area of the duckling, it wasn't really yellow, it had a sort of a green tinge to it as well. So trust your instincts. If you see a sort of a greeny colour rather than what you expect it should be, then go with it. And what I noticed was that because the water of the pond or the lake around the duckling was slightly green, it might have caused some reflection onto the yellow areas of the duckling, which made it look slightly green. So go with what you think, and the good thing about watercolour as well is that if you haven't got exactly the colour that you need, you can mix it together. So with your knowledge of colour theory and colour mixing, you can make pretty much any colour that you like. And another bit of advice I would give is if you've mixed up a colour that you think is really great, really perfect, just note down which colours you used and roughly in what proportions, just in case you need to mix it up again. So there's nothing more frustrating than getting that perfect shade and then not being able to recreate it for the rest of your painting. So I'm back to using a really fine paintbrush again and just adding another layer of dark brown, and as I get to the end layers I'm going in with more finer details and putting in more strands of feathers rather than just blocking out main areas. And it's these sort of darker areas contrasted with the lighter areas that make our painting look realistic. So it's really important to make sure you keep those lighter areas and also to put in colours that are as dark as they need to be as well to get that contrast. So at this point I'm just putting some darker areas onto the chest of the duck and some more detail onto his face. And it's the shadow as well and these different areas of shading that make it look more 3D and therefore more realistic. And you can also add different glazes over the top if you decide that maybe you want a pinker area onto the bill, or you want a slightly greener area onto the yellow area of the duck. And that's just like a light wash of colour that just adds a tint to the overall look of your painting. So that done, I was then ready to go onto the water surrounding the duckling, and I started off by marking in the main shadow area or reflection area underneath him. After that I just went in and added some light layers a bit more loosely to the ripples around him. And again using my reference picture just to kind of mark out how they looked, but I didn't make sure that it was exactly right because again that would have taken a really long time. So once I got those lightest areas in and the general shape of how the ripples were around the duckling, it was then a case of just darkening some of those areas up, again to add contrast. And something that's really important with watercolour is to leave the white of the paper because that is the lightest colour that you're going to get. You can go darker, but you can't very easily anyway go lighter. So make sure that you leave some of the white of the paper for those reflection areas, and that will really help your painting to stand out and look more realistic and just be really bright and fresh. So what I did decide to do, and the next part is optional, is to go in with some coloured pencils and just add in some fine details for those flyaway feathers to help make the duckling look really fluffy. But as I said, that's an optional step. You can finish the painting with the paint when you're done, but I just like to add those details just to get a few more sort of feathery effects and look to the painting. So when you add coloured pencil, it does layer really nicely over the watercolour paint, especially if you've used a smooth or hot press paper to do your painting on. And I made sure that my pencils were really sharp to get in some really nice fine details to use on the beak, around the eye, and as I mentioned, to get really nice details with those flyaway feathers on top of the duck's head and on his back. So I just used some black and some dark brown colour pencils and a slightly darker shade of the yellow ochre for the feathers on the yellow areas. And you can use paint for this if you've got a really fine paintbrush to give that really nice fluffy look on his back, but I thought I would use the colour pencils to get this effect, and I think it did work really well. So generally I'm pleased with how it turned out, and I'd love to know if you've tried this at home, how your painting turned out as well. Or if you used the outline sketch we did on Tuesday's video and coloured it in another media, then let me know how you got on. So I just added also some, with a dark green pencil, some details to the edges of those ripples, again just to add contrast and make it look a little bit more realistic. But I hope you enjoyed this video and you found this tutorial useful. And there he is, all finished.
That's all for today, Artcadets. I hope you've enjoyed painting in our little duckling sketch. If you have, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!